Okay, thank you very much, Eric. My name is Richard Versluis. I'm the Director of Engineering of the Quantum Computing Division here at QuTech in Delft. I'd like to, sorry, some things are happening here in the office. I'd like to talk a little bit with you about QuTech. QuTech is the cooperation of a cooperation between TNO and the University of Delft. And we work on very new technologies on quantum computing. So one of the things that we're doing is we're developing prototypes of quantum computers and quantum internet here at QuTech. And we work together with a lot of scientists from the University of Delft and engineers from TNO and colleagues from the industrial ecosystem here in Delft. At QuTech, we have a fundamental belief that quantum technology can be a big game changer in many of these societal issues that we are currently facing. Obviously, not now. Quantum computers are very new; they're very young, and they're also, of course, not that powerful yet. But we do believe that in the future they can have a big impact on society, and not only quantum computers, but also quantum communication systems and quantum sensors can really be a benefit for us in the future. And of course, it takes a lot to get there in these kind of fields. So we really have to take a multidisciplinary approach. And at QuTech, we have a lot of different people working. We have electrical engineers from the Faculty of Electrical Engineering. We have people from computer science and mathematicians working here at QuTech, and a lot of material science people and physicists that all work together to bring the best of this technology to you. So we were founded in 2015, and like I said, we are a cooperation between the University of Delft and TNO is the national lab of the Netherlands. And we work together with a lot of different companies in not only here in Europe but worldwide, among them Microsoft and Intel. And we have currently about 300 people working at QuTech. Our funding mostly comes from government-based funding, and we have some additional funding from the Ministry of Economic Affairs. Currently at QuTech, we have 3 divisions. We have a quantum computing division, a quantum internet division, and a qubit research division. And they all focus on different topics. Of course, quantum computing on quantum computing, quantum internet on quantum communication, but qubit research focuses on qubit devices that are used in both fields of technology. So who do we work with? Amongst a couple of other people, we work together with Intel. We also work together with Fujitsu in the quantum computing field. And in the quantum internet field, we work together with Cisco and KPN, who develops for us the fibers that we use for quantum communication. In Delft, we have a lot of different people working. We're working together with a lot of different companies. Work together with OQS, with QBlocks and Quantware, and work together with Delft Circuits and some other companies that help provide systems for us that we use at QuTech. We're not only working on technology, we also work on outreach and education. And QuTech Academy is a very important factor in this. QuTech Academy develops new courses that we use for on-campus education, like different minors on quantum science and technology, different courses of quantum technology in general. And we have some QuTech scholarships for excellent international students that can apply to that. But we also, of course, are ready for the future, and we have some MOOCs that are currently being used by many different people all over the world. And I invite everybody, if you are interested in learning more about quantum computing and quantum communication, go ahead, sign up for those MOOCs and learn a lot about quantum. Apart from education, of course, we do a lot of outreach. Our PIs are really recognized as thought leaders in this field, and they contribute a lot to media productions here in the Netherlands and in Europe. And we also try to educate the younger people. Of course, they're not interested in quantum technology yet, but they are the people of the future, and we think it's really important to get them as fast as possible interested in those kinds of research. Work on many different qubit technologies here in QuTech. We develop spin qubit prototypes. We work on transmons, superconducting type of qubits. We also work on NV center qubits that are in a diamond lattice. And a fourth type of qubit that we work on are Majorana qubits that are intrinsically protected from noise through the properties of the devices themselves. One of the things that we want to do is build a quantum internet in Europe. A quantum internet is a quantum network that connects quantum processors at different locations. And it makes use not only of the quantum mechanical properties of the qubits themselves, but also requires a quantum communication channel that preserves the properties of the qubits, also sometimes called flying qubits. At QuTech, we've already developed a couple of quantum networks that are that only have a couple of nodes, like 2-node networks and 3-node networks that we develop locally. But we're also working on a larger quantum internet to be developed here in the Netherlands and a little bit later in Europe. One of the demonstrators that we recently developed is the Quantum Network Explorer. And I invite everybody, if you are interested in quantum communication technology, please go to our website and visit the Quantum Network Explorer. There you can learn about quantum communication. You can explore by using some pre-built applications. And there's an application development kit that you can use in order to try out some different applications yourself. The platform lets you explore the possibilities of quantum networks and, for instance, build a quantum network between Delft, The Hague, and Amsterdam, and see how you can transfer quantum information from one node to the other node, of course, based on the transmission of quantum bits. We also work on building the computer of the future, the quantum computer, and that's what this hackathon was about. And I think it's really cool that everybody who's listening in at this moment and who's been involved in the hackathon has done such a great job of writing nice and cool programs on our quantum computers. And realizing these quantum computers requires a lot. It's not just building the chips, it's the full quantum computing stack, which involves the microarchitecture, the instruction set, making the runtime classical processor available, making sure that you compile the algorithms to the native gate set of the different types of qubits that we have. And we have developed a full system architecture, and we've developed a couple of different systems that we put online and that the people have been using in the last day or two. And we're very proud that we have Europe's first quantum computer in the cloud. And it's the world's first to contain a processor of spin qubits, but it's also the world's first to have not only access to the spin qubit system, but also to a superconducting system. So combining those two systems in one cloud platform. And I'm really happy that everybody been working on that one. Finally, to end this talk, I would like to take a little walk with all of you. Currently, we have the two quantum computers online. People have been using that for like I said, for the last 24 hours. I think it would be fun to actually show you a little bit of where all your programs have been going to. So please allow this image to get a little bit shaky. But we're going to the lab, and I want to invite you to take a peek at what the actual quantum computers look like that we've been working on. So here we are at QuTech. We're in Delft, and currently it's late at night. It's a little bit dark outside, so that's why the image is maybe a bit unfocused. But here we are in the first lab. It's a little bit noisy, and it's maybe a little bit difficult to see. But this is the Quantum Inspire lab, where Spin 2 is located. This is the dilution refrigerator where our chip is housed. And here you can see the control electronics that converts all of the signals, all of the instructions that you have been producing in the last period, turning it into signals that are sent to the qubit chip that's located here in the dilution fridge at about 20 millikelvins temperature. Let's go quickly to the other lab where we have access to the Starman system. And the Starman system is the 5-qubit system that a lot of people also use to program their challenge on. The Starman system is a 5-qubit system, superconducting, working almost at the same temperature, and it's a little bit more sophisticated. Maybe a little bit more difficult to see is the Quantum Inspire lab. I'm not sure if you can see it correctly, but this is where all the magic happens. All of the instructions programmed by you in quantum circuits actually go to all of these control equipment here. We have the AWGs, we have a central controller, we have a vector switch matrix that routes all of these signals to the qubits. And I'm really happy that it all worked. And I want to thank everybody who participated in the hackathon. And I don't want to thank just you. I would also like to thank my colleagues who've been working all weekend making this happen. People can say hi. This is Tumi. Thanks, Tumi. And this is Mikkel. With this, we'd like to say thank to you all. And I hope you enjoyed this hackathon.
Thank you so much, Richard. Really appreciate the lab tour as well. Fantastic to see everything that's going on. So we do have a one question already in the chat. So for everyone else who has questions, please feel free to either put it in the chat on Zoom or on Twitch, or if you raise your hand on the Zoom, I can unmute you and ask it as well. Our first question, apart from using QKD for security, yes, what are some other applications of the quantum internet?
The most obvious is, of course, quantum communication. So not only with QKD, but there are other protocols to send quantum information over the quantum internet. But another application is distributed quantum computing. It might be possible in the future that we have different quantum computing nodes available in different locations with different assets as well. So it could be that one quantum computer node might be a little bit more better for instance, storing information. Other nodes might be more specialized in doing specific operations, but you still need a quantum connection between them. So distributed quantum computing could be another application of the quantum internet. But obviously, distributing quantum information from one location to the other location is a potential feature. But there are also some other ideas. There are also things like voting systems, where people can use quantum communication systems that are connected by different nodes to make specialized voting systems where people, the votes of the people are actually protected from the others, but you can still trust that all of the votes are coming from the correct people.
Fantastic, thank you. We had another question. How many qubits does the spin qubit quantum computer currently have?
This one that we have online only has 2 qubits. So we are working on newer technology systems that have more qubits, but they're not available through Quantum Inspire yet. They're only used in the lab to do research with.
Gotcha. Another maybe fun question. How did you get into quantum computing?
How did I get into quantum computing? Well, I try to keep it quick. I've been working in more on semiconductor industry. So I've been working on EUV steppers, for instance, for a while. But I'm a system engineer by nature, so I'm not a quantum physicist at all. But I just got interested by the topic when it popped up. So when TNO started the cooperation with the University of Delft, I thought, okay, let's do that. Let's try to develop quantum computers. And of course, I'm not doing it alone. I'm doing it with a large team of experts.
Great. So we had a question from Derek. Derek, could you actually maybe unmute yourself and ask your question just to make sure that that the right question is asked? I'm not sure I understand.
Right. I was just wondering if you could explain what the controller that you showed us with the dilution fridge does, and what the lab that you showed us after that does.
Yeah. So mainly the most important thing to explain is that the instructions that you have in a quantum circuit, they go through a large number of passes before they turn into a signal. So what we do is we first precompile the instructions to the native gate set. That's done on a local computer that's close to the quantum computer, but that's of course a classical computer. But then they're turned into micro instructions, and the micro instructions tell the control hardware that we have, frequency generators, AWGs, signal generators that are generating, for instance, the DC signals and DC pulse signals. So a lot of those instructions, those are the ones that actually go to the control hardware. And what you saw is all of those racks. They have the equipment available for sending these signals to the quantum computer. Some of it is simply commercial off the shelf, and some of the equipment is developed in-house by QuTech. And it goes a little bit too far, of course, to explain all of the details about the different electronics that you just saw. And I'm also not sure if you can actually see it that well, because we're still seated a little bit outside of the lab.
Okay, that helps. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. We do have a little more time. One more question was asking if you could compare the data rates that you'd expect from the quantum internet versus from the classical internet.
I'm not a quantum communication specialist. I do hear a lot. Sometimes the question asked, like, is it possible to send more information because you have a quantum internet than compared to a classical system? As far as my understanding goes, that's not the case. So it's not possible to actually send more data, or let's say compress more data into a quantum bit. There's a little bit of compression that you can do, but I don't think that's the most obvious application of a quantum communication system. So the most obvious application is sending data from one location to the other location in a safe way, in such a way that you're certain that you're not being eavesdropped, or when you are eavesdropped, that you are notified that you're being eavesdropped. I see somebody saying super dense coding,
exactly, yeah.
But super dense coding, I think, as far as I know, only gives you a factor of 2 compared to classical information transfer.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none. Thank you so much, Richard. Again, we really appreciate it, and great to see the lab tour, and great to hear about the amazing things that are happening, and especially thanks to the team for being up so late for us.
Yeah. And apologies for the start. It was a little bit hectic, but a lot of stuff happened in the lab that you were not seeing at the moment. So
yeah, that's science.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.